Very Boom Tschak GROOVELAB.
Hey dudes and dudettes, it's the Boom Tschak GROOVELAB. I'd like to show you some cool stuff today. Since Ableton Live gave us push, we can quickly come up with our sketches. Everything sounds so fine and in tune. That's because Push has a scale mode. And now, thanks to Stray from the Beatwise network, we can remote the scales from within the software too. ClyphX, Midi remote script, ClyphX, thank you Stray, ClyphX, Midi remote script, it's even free. ClyphX, Midi remote script, ClyphX, yeah.
So here's the goal of the day. I wanted to be able to remote control Push's scale function with clips on one hand, and on the other hand with a dedicated controller, in my case a Novation Launchpad. Additionally, I wanted to combine the scale function with the pitch correction tool in Nectar, which is an awesome vocal suite coming from iZotope. With this concept, I can be sure that the instruments that I'm playing on Push are always in the same key that Nectar is correcting my vocal input to. That's great for sketching if you like to use your voice as a melody finder, but of course it's really cool for live performing too. So the first thing to do is to download the ClyphX remote script from beatwise.proboards.com. To install ClyphX, you need to go to your Applications folder, look out for Ableton Live, right-click to see Show Package Content, find Contents, look out for your app resources, find your MIDI remote scripts, and this is where you want to place your ClyphX folder. In Live's Preferences, under the MIDI Sync tab, enable ClyphX as a control surface. Now look out for the colored ring around your session view slots to make sure everything is installed correctly. Finally, let's go and have a look at the extensive ClyphX user manual, in which you can find all kinds of listings of the different actions that you can do with ClyphX to control Ableton Live. And if you keep on scrolling down, you will eventually get to the push actions. And this is exactly what we're looking for right now. Now, since everything is set up correctly, all I need to do is to create a new MIDI track from my scale clips and create a new MIDI clip and type the action into that clip. At the beginning of each action listing, I have to type in a so-called identifier using square brackets, which you can find on your keyboard using Alt 5 and 6. This is necessary so ClyphX knows that this is not only a clip name, but a remote script action. To save screen estate, I only type in the brackets, but you could also write something like ID or ClyphX or kindergarten between those brackets. It's up to you. Now simply type in push SCL root, which means push scale root, and the desired note, for example C, and the clip will fire that action to push, and it will change the scale to that defined root note. So this is how I set this up in real life. Somewhere hidden in my live set, I have 2 MIDI tracks with ClyphX clips inside. So that's 12 clips in a track I call scales, one clip for each root note, and another 2 clips in a track called Major Minor, one for scale type Major and one for Minor. Combining those clips enables me to choose any combination, for example C major, F minor, F major, G minor, so whatever I need. So if I want to have a scale change happening automatically while performing in session view, I simply put copies of the 2 clips that together define the desired scale in a scene that I'm about to launch. And, together with the other clips in the other tracks, the scale change will be executed. These clips can also be triggered from the Launchpad by MIDI mapping them to the controller's pads. I'm using user mode 2 here, since user mode 1 is normally doing some other stuff in my live sets. I set the clips to toggle mode, turned the launch quantization to none, and gave them a good length so that I can always see on the Launchpad what scale I'm currently in. By the way, the stickers on the Launchpad show me which scale is on which pad. Now let's talk about Nectar. I've taken the plugin and grouped it into an audio effects rack together with some other devices like a transposer, a vocoder, a delay, and so on. But we are focusing on Nectar and those 4 macros here, with which I'm controlling the 12 root notes. I can switch between major and minor, adjust the speed of correction of the incoming vocal signal, and to toggle Nectar's doubler effect between on and off. The correction speed is vital because the faster Nectar corrects incoming vocals, the more of the typical T-Pain, Cher, Kanye West effect is audible.
So right now, Nectar is correcting very fast. But if I slow it down, it takes longer to correct the incoming signal. But if I make it fast again, it starts to sound like Kanye.
To now make the Launchpad pads not only trigger the actions to change Push's scales, but also to change Nectar's root note, I have 2 options. Before I had the ClyphX script, I worked a lot with MIDI remote clips sending MIDI control data via the IAC bus. That still is an awesome feature if you, for example, need to set up new patches for the next song automatically. But with ClyphX it's also possible, just by again typing in the action into the clip. Simply divide the actions from each other by using a semicolon. For example, to change Nectar's root note to C, I have to type 1/ for track 1, DEV B1 for device bank 1, P1 for parameter 1, meaning macro 1, plus the desired value for that macro. To have a quick overview how the 12 root notes are divided up within the 127 MIDI CCs on macro 1, I have written it in the info box of track 1, so I can see which root note is within what MIDI CC range on that macro dial. That's it! This is the Scale-O-Matic with Ableton Live 9 using Ableton Push, Isotope's Nectar, and a Novation Launchpad. For more convenience, I additionally mapped one pad of the Launchpad to turn Nectar's pitch correction device on and off, and another pad to toggle on and off Nectar's doubler effect.